to reality.
Need more time.
Stupid brat! What have you done?
Wait a sec. Need a sec. All in a day's Need more time. Need a sec. Not yet. Need more time. Simple enough. Need a sec.
You make this harder on yourself.
More time. Not yet. Need a sec.
My kin died by the spirit's will. You'll die by mine. Forgive me.
Hello everyone, this is my Gemling Frost Darts with Grim Pillars build. This version uses a regular amulet. It's an absent amulet. Gives you +4 to spells, spirits, and mana. Previous video I used a divinity amulet, and it has some limitations with it not generating enough resources to cast, and it doesn't have spirits and plus levels to spells. So I just opted to use a regular amulet instead. So we are using an Adonius. We have a helmet with resistances, intellect, and we have Raven's Touch with augmented flesh for +2 the skill slots. We have Idol of Ishtar for cost efficiency, using our regular Shrine Scepter for more spirits, mana, and increased spirits and mana regen rate. The Purity of Fire gives you fire resistance, and you can slot in spirit support gems without taking your spirit's pull Uh, for the ring, we have max mana, cost efficiency, cast speed, intellect, max mana, and we're just mirroring that with Calandra's Touch. For the chest piece, we just have energy shield, spirit, intellect, resistances, and we have the box idol for more quality, and greater iron just for more energy shield. Malagar's gloves gives you more crit damage, and we have magnitude of ailments on the rim. We have ingenuity belt here. This just empowers both of the rings. It even works with Calandra's Touch. You could also just use a headhunter or a mage blood or any belt. It really doesn't matter that much, but I think ingenuity is probably the best all-rounder because ingenuity works for bossing. Headhunter does not work for bossing, but it works great for mapping and for expeditions. The boots just gives you move speed and resistances and gives you some runic ward. Since we are using Grand Pillars, you do want a little bit of ward. And speaking of ward, you also want a way to generate runic ward faster. So since our runic ward isn't that significant, it's only at 285, so we're just using it as a resource to cast Grim Pillars. For our charms, we have a Thawing Charm, a Stone Charm, Dousing Charm, and Rolf's Resolves. This helps with generating more runic ward. It gives you some guard, but because our ward is not that high, the guard is not significant. For our gems, like I said, you just want to have a balance of all three to get gems studded. The most important ones you want to focus on is getting heightened charges and prolonged duration for Pinnacle of Power. Heightened charges doubles the timer as well as doubles the amount that it gives. So if it consumes an 8 power charge level, that would actually be 16 power charges essentially. So 16 times 18 is just quite a lot of spell damage. Over here for our cast on skills, we're using Grim Pillars, Frost Wall, Zenith, Pinpoint Critical, and Efficiency. You can also use Glacier because Glacier improves the life of your ice crystal life, and that pairs with Burglass. So the more crystal life you are able to destroy, the more increased gain cold damage you would get. But I just picked Zenith because of just the mana cost efficiency, and it does more damage for the Grim Pillars and Frostwall itself. But you can just switch it up if you want. We're using Elemental Complex with just a point to improve it. You could also use Elemental Invocation, but I figured that I'm already doing enough damage, and casting more spells will drain your mana faster and your runic ward faster, so it's not necessary to run Elemental Invocation, but you can if you want. You could also just swap in for Blink if you just want faster mobility. So it's very flexible with the 60 spirits allotment. For cast on critical, we are running Frostbolts, Balance Propulsion, Science Temper, Pinpoint Critical, and Efficiency. We have Archmage here improving our damage. Frost Starts. We have Zenith, Pinpoint Critical, Efficiency, Burglass, and Rockiatus Flow. So because Frost Starts has a high base crit chance, we're able to pretty much nearly crit cap Frost Starts, which allows you to trigger cast on critical faster. Now, because Frost Darts cannot inflict chill, cannot freeze, the way it's able to generate energy is mostly by the crit chance. So we're able to trigger our Frostbolts for cast on critical. Frostbolts applies chill, and because it applies chill, it can also apply freeze and the other ailments, which can also trigger Grim Pillars. Now, in order for Frost Darts to do actual damage, you have to hit a chilled or frozen target, and the ice chunks that it produces is what's actually doing the real damage, as well as the explosions when it's empowered with an infusion. So the idea is to generate energy by critting, you trigger Frostbolt with cast on crit. Frostbolt chills the enemy. Because the enemy is chilled, Frost Darts does even more damage. And because the enemies are chilled and frozen, the ailment will also trigger Grim Pillars and Frostwall. And because Frostwall is triggered, when we have Burglas, we have more gain as extra cold, and just the cycle continues. The bonus with Gemling is that your Frost Darts are able to fork without the need of Snake Pit and without the need of a fork support gem. And because it forks 3 additional times, it's able to ricochet pretty much between each enemy. And that's how you're able to get on cast on criticals as well. Firestorm, we just have it here to pick up our infusions and to give us power charges. It's not a significant source of damage. Frostbomb, we just have it to generate cold infusions. Mana Tempest, just more extra damage. You don't necessarily need to press this. It does drain your mana, so that is the downside. So you just got to be careful when you're using this, since we are using Mind over Matter. Siphon Elements, this helps with creating more remnants, and the more remnants you create, the more mana you will be able to obtain with one of our passives in our passive tree. Explosive Transmutation, the more remnants you create and pick up, they will explode and they'll give you more damage. Arbiter's Ignition gives you Elemental Archon when you ignite an enemy. Elemental Archon just allows you to do more damage and increases your ailment magnitude. Because we are also using the minion, the effect is halved, but it has no cooldown, so we're able to be into Elemental Archon pretty much nearly 100% of the time. You could use Paragon if you want and not use the minion, so that is an option, at least for Gemling, because the more quality you have, the more spell effects you were able to obtain. We have Commiserate here. What this does is it removes an ailment if you have one on you, because Explosive Transmutation does all ailments. It's able to cleanse fire, cold, lightning debuffs that are on you. So that helps with that. Remnants of Calgar just helps with your ward generation, which helps with your Grim Pillars being able to keep being casted. And it also creates remnants, which gives you more mana. Now, Arc and Lightning Warp are not used. These are actually dead skills. They don't exist. However, the reason they are there is because if you swap in unset rings into your gear, you're able to equip bonus skills, and you can slot in whatever color gem you need in order to meet gem studded. After you do that, you take off the unset rings, you put on your regular good rings. These skills will become disabled. However, the support gems will still function for gem studded. And that was a really good tip that I found in the comments. However, we're still using Augmented Flesh because we're just not able to slot in the skills that we are actually using, such as Remnants of Calgar and Mana Tempest. But perhaps this could possibly be replaced with Paragon as another anoint. Or Embodiment of Frost is also another good one. Now for our passives on our passive tree. So we're using Gemling. We have Gem Studded, Advanced Thaumaturgy, Neurological Implants, +2 to everything. On our tree, it's pretty much the same as almost all the other builds. This is a really good template because it's just, you're able to mix and match any spells and you can just swap them in and out and it would probably work. We have a From Nothing here, allocates to Eldritch Battery. Split Personality allows you to start on the sorcerer side or on any side of the tree. We just have +3 to Frost Darts here. We have Mind Over Matter. We have some points here. It gives you some +2 cold, freeze, cold infusions. We have Time Loss here, more crit chance, and magnitude of ailments. Over here we have Megalomaniac of Harmonic Generator and Unbending. This helps go up your stun threshold and gives you more crit chance and magnitude of shot. If you can, you could get Embodiment of Frost, but that's pretty expensive. However, it does help significantly for expeditions because you are immune to freeze and chill. And Heart of the Well, we have gain extra cold and extra lightning and crit chance. You might be wondering why I'm not going into Eldritch Battery, because this can be converted into more mana. The downside is that the mana costs are doubled, and I'm just not quite able to sustain with the amount of times I'm casting. And so I just opted to not use Eldritch Battery, just because of the sheer mana cost. But if you're able to sustain the mana cost somehow, then you're able to run it. But that's the reason why I'm not able to properly convert my shield into mana. That is it for that. Forgot to add in the reason you're able to get your mana back from creating remnants is due to arcane remnants. So the more remnants you're able to create with Remnants of Calgar, mana remnants, siphon elements, and just powered by Berisium, if you ever decide to use that, you're able to sustain your mana, which is now considered your life pool. And that's how Arcane Remnants is able to be sustained. Right. And that is it for the build. Thank you for watching. I hope I gave you some good ideas, and perhaps we can possibly improve the build to make it even better. Spark Comet is still supreme, and hopefully if there's ever any changes, we'll be able to adapt. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.